Many of us enjoy observing classes and talking with teachers, but I hear from evaluators all the time that they don't enjoy writing up the feedback and they find it time-consuming and they often put it off. So in this video, I will share a simple acronym with you that you can use to guide how you write up observation feedback so that the process will be faster and easier for you and you can stay focused on the most important work, which is observing teachers and giving them helpful feedback. So welcome to my channel, Lead with Love, Love to Lead. My name is Jess Madden-fuoco. So we all love a good acronym, and you could say that this acronym is money. Oh my. So the acronym is actually COINS, C-O-I-N-S. And COINS stands for context, observation, impact, next steps, and standard. So let's dive into COINS. So first, my general approach is to focus each COINS on one strategy or action or inaction. So I might write 3 to 4 COINS for one 20-minute observation. So here's an example. I might see a math teacher circulating around the classroom asking students great questions, such as, why does this make sense? So for this, here's how I'd write the COINS. C, the context. So first, I'd give a little context of the strategy. So for this example, I would write, students were solving the math problem from the illustrative math curriculum. Several video games are based on a genre called Battle Royale, in which 100 players are on an island and they fight until only one player remains and is crowned the winner. This type of game can often be played in solo mode as individuals or in team mode in groups of 2. Which information would you use to determine the top players in each mode, solo and team? Explain your reasoning. So you see in that I gave some context of why the teacher was circulating the classroom. I explained what problem the students were working on. So now we get to the next step in COINS, O. So for O, you write what you observe. So in this example, Mr. X circulated the classroom, read students' work, and asked students, why does that make sense? Next is I, impact. I want to emphasize what an important part impact is. When Leslie Gant and I train evaluators, we always say that it doesn't matter what we like to see in the classroom. What matters is what impact it has on students. So for example, I really love to see color-coordinated table bins with supplies accessible to students. But what actually matters is the impact of a teacher's actions on their students. So let's return to this example of the math teacher who asked, why does this make sense? What you would do for this to explain the impact is you would share at least one example of what students did after the teacher asked, why does this make sense? So for example, students responded by sharing their thinking about how they would determine the top players in solo mode versus team mode. One student realized an error in their thinking and explained it to Mr. X and said, oh shoot, that's not right, and revised what they wrote on the paper. By circulating and asking this question, Mr. X pushed students to explain their thinking and revise when necessary. All right, now we're to the N. Next steps. So I don't always write next steps for positive feedback, like the example we're going through in this video, because I don't think we always need to write, keep doing this, when that's implied. But if I had written critical feedback in the COINS, what I would write for a next step is what the teacher needs to do differently next time to ensure a positive impact on students' learning. So this next step would be whatever the teacher and I had discussed during the post-observation conversation. And for next steps, remember my tip. I think it can sometimes come across as patronizing or overly critical if we write, the teacher needs to do X, Y, Z. So instead, I really like to write, after I've talked with the teacher, Mr. X plans to XYZ. And it's basically saying the same thing, but it's putting it in a way that I think is more supportive to the teacher. Now S, standards. So we always have to connect our feedback to standards or elements in the teacher rubric. So the first step is to figure out what one or two elements does your feedback best connect to. So for this example where we've been talking about Mr. X, I would look at the teacher rubric in Boston, and I would find that this best connects with the high expectations element of 2D2. So I usually write the connection to the rubric elements like this. This shows how Mr. X supports students in developing deeper understanding and meeting high expectations. And then I usually put the rubric element 2D2 in parentheses after that. So this is how 1 coins would look when you put it all together. Not all my coins are this long. This one's a little longer because I included the entire math problem at the beginning. So I'm gonna share a document where you can look at several examples of positive coins and critical coins. And you can get access to that document if you click the link below in the description. So I know that writing up observation feedback is not the most fun part of our work as teacher evaluators, but I'm really hoping that the COINS acronym will make this process faster and easier for you. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're interested in other videos about teacher evaluation, I've got lots of other videos on my channel. And if you're behind on observations, definitely check out this video about how to schedule observations quickly. So if this video is helpful, I'd love it if you'd give it a thumbs up and click subscribe. And you can click that notification bell so that you're notified when I post future videos. And please share this video with all your teacher and leader friends, because my mission with this channel is to support leaders' growth so they can support teachers' growth. And remember, if you lead with love, you will love to lead.